Differences between class boundaries and class midpoints. Class boundaries versus class midpoints. Class boundaries are individual values chosen to separate classes, often being the midpoints between upper and lower class limits of adjacent classes. Whereas, class midpoints are the values in the middle of the class limits. The aim of class boundaries is to ensure continuous intervals for grouped data by facilitating accurate statistical analysis. Whereas, the aim of class midpoints is to determine mean of grouped and ungrouped data and to create a histogram to visualize the values in a frequency table. Class boundaries focus on the numbers that separate classes without forming gaps between them. For integer data, the corresponding class limits and class boundaries differ by 0.5, whereas class midpoints focus on taking average of the upper limit and the lower limit of a class in a frequency distribution. In other words, the class mark is the mid-value of the given class interval. Class boundaries helps in determining the range of values that fall within each class and allows for better analysis and interpretation of data and avoid overlap between consecutive classes. Whereas, midpoints helps in the calculation of the mean by serving as the representative value for each class interval when multiplying by the corresponding frequency before summing up the products and dividing by the total number of data points, and also help in making histogram. Formula of finding number of classes, range and class interval are given for comparison, whereas lower class boundaries are calculated by subtracting 0.5 from lower class limits, and upper class boundaries are calculated by adding 0.5 in upper class limits. Whereas, formula of class midpoint or class marks are given, which is the sum of lower class limit and upper class limit divided by 2. Class boundaries are also known as exclusive classes, whereas class midpoints are also known as mid-value, central value and class mark. Class boundaries are used in grouped data and there is no usage in ungrouped data. Whereas, class midpoints are often used when you want to create a histogram to visualize the values in a frequency table. Class boundaries are important in statistics and data analysis, defining value ranges for effective organization, analysis, and visualization. They are widely used in histograms, frequency distributions, summary statistics, and inferential statistics across multiple fields, streamlining data interpretation and analysis. Whereas, when analyzing a frequency table, finding the midpoint for each interval is important because it helps approximate the mean when individual data values are not known. In example, you can see class weights, which are class limits that are given in first column. After that, compute lower class boundaries by subtracting 0.5 from lower class limits to get lower class boundaries in second column. In third column, by calculating upper class boundaries, add 0.5 in upper class limits to get upper class boundaries. In fourth column, you can write class boundaries. In this way you can fill the rest of frequency distribution table by making 4 columns for class midpoints, tally, frequencies, and entries, respectively. Kindly subscribe my YouTube channel Thesis Helper. Thanks for watching.